Hello everyone from Hayden Park. I'm Chris Vinel alongside Brady Pfister. We're here for a little afternoon baseball. Miami RedHawks will take on the Northern Illinois Huskies. Miami took a W yesterday, 12-0. It was a dominant performance from start to finish. They jumped on the board early and never looked back. Starter Sam Bachman went 6. Bailey Martin, the lone reliever in yesterday's ballgame for the RedHawks, he came in and shut the Huskies down for the second part of it, giving Miami their 31st win of the season. They sit 31-10 and 10. In conference, they sit at 12-4 compared to 12-29 and 8-8 for the Northern Illinois Huskies. On the mound today, Spencer Mraz. Brady, what can you tell us about Spencer?
Yeah, Mraz is a junior hailing from Middleburg Heights, Ohio. It's been a pretty solid year thus far. ERA 376, 5 wins, and 3 losses. Came to Miami in his freshman year, had a 2.41 ERA. Last year he was the first year starter. It's a tough sell. Mraz is a real tall guy, standing at 6'10". Throws primarily a fastball, which is around 88 to 92 miles an hour. He will rarely, if ever, deviate. Average is got on Mraz and ready to go here.
We are indeed ready as Mraz toes the mound. The first batter he will face is the left-handed hitting Tommy Shasney. Shasney, a third baseman, wearing number 20. The first pitch to him is an outside fastball, 90 miles an hour on the gun. Mraz will toe the rubber once again. He'll deliver. This one is fouled back into the netting behind home plate. Evens the count at 1-1. Shasney coming in, 270 hitter. 1 home run, 13 RBIs on the season. 1-1 to him is upstairs, 92 mile an hour fastball. And like Brady said, we're going to see a lot of fastballs early and often from Spencer Mraz.
Talking to a few people before the game, dug up just about Mraz. 6'10" guy. If he really uses every time he uses his body, he can take a chance at the next level. Really should be able to put some more velocity on that, go from high 80s and low 90s, maybe into the mid 90s or 95. If he does get a shot at the next level, we're able to leverage that 6'10" frame that he imposes.
My girlfriend Nicole is setting up rod.
Through a fastball, another fastball there as Shasney fouls it off towards the left side. Shasney reached base twice in yesterday's ballgame, had a hit. 2-2 to him is upstairs and away, 94 miles an hour on the gun.
Does she still go here?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just graduated last year.
Oh, nice.
Where'd you go to school?
I went to Belmont in Nashville.
Nice.
Yeah, I graduated in...
Mraz the windup and the pitch. This one is slapped towards the right side. It'll go foul and out of play. Miami wearing their red tops, white bottoms today.
We should get a pretty good indication of how this game is going to go from Mraz based on the first couple innings.
Year after year.
Inconsistent. We'll go 2 and give up 6 or 7 runs. We'll go 7 and give up maybe a few. So this will be a good indicator of how the rest of the game will go.
We've seen those two extremes in his last 2 starts as Shasney fouls another one off to the left side. This one will get out of play as well, keeping the count full. Whereas in his last start went 5 innings, gave up 5 runs, but the start before that he took a no-hitter into the 8th inning. Using only his fastball, like Brady said. He throws that 4-seamer, he throws a 2-seamer that's a couple miles an hour slower and has some break to it. You might see that here on the 3-2. That one's a little bit low. He brought a 94 mile an hour fastball, but Shasney will trot on down to first base.
It's hot.
Huskies have the leadoff hitter aboard.
Always hot.
Shasney not really a threat on the base compared to some of the runners Miami has, but he is second on the team with 9 stolen bases. He can move a bit. Next batter for the Huskies will be Brendan Joyce, the left fielder. We're seeing the exact same lineup today as we saw yesterday from Miami. A little bit of change in the Husky lineup. Malik Peters moving into the second base position. We saw McCormick there yesterday. First pitch to Joyce is inside, a called ball. Shasney a decent-sized lead at first base. Here's Mraz. He gets set, looks the runner back, and now he'll deliver. That's in there for a called strike. 90 miles an hour right down the chute. Joyce hitting .301 on the year, 2 home runs, 18 knocked in. He's a right-handed batter. He'll hit this one towards left field. His counterpart Winkler out there will take care of it for out number 1. He has me back to first base. We saw Joyce out there in left field last night make a couple of spectacular plays, a couple of diving catches. Miami possibly would have had more than their dozen runs if it weren't for the efforts of Brendan Joyce. Dylan Lontine will follow him. He's the shortstop hitting .284 on the year. 3 home runs, 26 RBIs. He's also a right-handed hitter.
Good place to get a job after.
Miraz will get set, working from that stretch. We actually saw a breaking ball there from Miraz, a rare 78-mile-an-hour curveball. First one of the game, and we probably won't see many more, at least here in the early going. That one's in there for a called strike right on the inside corner. Started it inside at the belt, curved it back over the plate. Here's the 0-1. This one slapped on the ground in between the shortstop Vogelsang and the third baseman Stevens. Lontine's on aboard with a single.
I mean, I'm looking at like a universal life policy.
Huskies quickly getting 2 of their first 3 hitters on base and already threatening Miami ace Spencer Miraz so far. Brady talked a little bit about his inconsistency, and you can really tell by the way the first or second inning goes. That's typically how his starts go. So far for Miami, they're probably not seeing their desired result. Jake Dunham, the catcher, now steps to the plate. He's hitting .293 on the year with 4 home runs. That leads the Huskies. 29 knocked in. That's tied for the team lead. First pitch to him, 88-mile-an-hour two-seamer, just a little bit too low, according to home plate umpire Wayne Krause. We saw Jeffrey Spizak behind home plate yesterday. He is at third base today. Timothy Farwig rounding out the umpiring crew. He's at first. Miraz will kick and deal. Right down the middle, 92-mile-an-hour fastball. 1-1 the count now as Miraz evens it up to Dunham.
Yeah, this is my first time here. Yeah.
Osmond's really dancing out there at second base trying to get in the head of the pitcher Miraz. Again, like Chris said, not much of a threat.
We can definitely go second to home on that single, though, and that's exactly what Dunham's going to try to do. He lines one down the third base line. That's a fair ball. 1 run's going to come home. They're going to wave around the second runner. He's going to score standing up as the throw will be cut off and go to third base.
Well, there's your answer. You look at how this game's going to go. Obviously still in the first inning, but given how Miraz throws the ball, this first inning is not a good indicator how the rest of the game is going to go for the RedHawks.
Jake Dunham in with a stand-up double in his first at-bat now.
Just a grandfathered in scout?
Nick Drobashevich, the right fielder, now up to bat. He sports a .316 average, 2 home runs, 29 knocked in. That's tied with Jake Dunham, who just took the team lead with a 2-run double. First pitch to Drobashevich is low, 89-mile-an-hour on the gun that time.
Now there's the problem with Miraz going through the fastball, especially when they top out on 92 miles an hour. He's going fastball after fastball, eventually going forward to pull it hard down the left field line. That's exactly what just happened with Dunham. You gotta have to obviously pitching here and there, switch it up a little bit just to try to get the batter out in front. He's unable to do that. As a result, it doesn't take long for Huskies to go 2-0.
We saw another fastball there as Drobashevich took one in the dirt. 2-0 the count now. Kel Elvers, the catcher, is going to go out and check on his big right-hander. Still early. Go out, settle him down real quick, make sure his nerves aren't there. Just a quick meeting. Will Vogelsang, the shortstop, will come in, give his words of encouragement to Miraz as well, and both he and Elvers will retreat back to their positions. Drobashevich, 2 walks yesterday and a hit. was one of the more productive Huskies in their shutout offensive effort. Mraz will look at the runner at second base. He'll deliver now. That's in there for a called strike. Another fastball on the inside corner.
Y'all are both in Denver?
He's in Cincinnati.
Oh, okay, nice. But the other guy.
Yeah. Yeah, he's the same
Bailey
guy.
Martin was the reliever yesterday. He came in that long relief role. We typically see Shane Smith there. He was out last night as this one is singled back up the middle. Actually, Parker Massman is going to come on and make the catch. It was lined hard by Drobasevich into center field. However, Parker Massman able to range under it.
It's a big out. It's a big out.
That is a big out as Mraz gets his second out of the inning. Keeps that runner at second base for another batter. That batter will be Cam Smith, the designated hitter. Smith hitting .293 on the season, 2 home runs, 24 knocked in. He's a right-handed batter. Northern Illinois wearing their black tops with gray pants today. We saw them in all gray yesterday. Classic Brooklyn Dodgers-esque look as Mraz delivers the first pitch to Smith. They're going to appeal to the home player, or the first base umpire. He says Smith did not go. Little check swing effort there from the Huskies' designated hitter. Mraz gets that ball back quickly. He'll look in for his sign. Smith ready in the box, pitcher ready on the mound.
There's food in there, too.
Here's the 1-0. This one is grounded in between Stevens and Vogelsang again. This will bring home a run. Dunham, the catcher, will come around to score. That's an RBI single for Cam Smith, and the Huskies are already up 3-0 on 3 hits here in the first.
As frustrating it is for Mraz and the rest of Miami to give up 3 runs in the first inning, Mraz has got to be looking, what can I do to get it out? All of the RBIs that he's given up have been to the left side. They've been ground balls. Hit a couple inches to the left, a couple inches to the right. You'd like to pick Stevens and be able to field those. Instead, they've rolled past the diving glove of Stevens and brought in 3 runs.
They always say baseball is a game of inches, and we're seeing that here today. A couple inches in the wrong direction for Miami. The next batter will be Jordan Larson, the first baseman. He looks at a ball on the first pitch he sees. Cam Smith, not too much of a threat down there at first base. He's got 2 stolen bases on 5 attempts, but he's got a big lead. The 1-0 to Larson is upstairs. He came with another breaking ball that time. That's only the second one we've seen in this game.
It is strikingly obvious when Mraz is throwing a breaking ball. He's not fooling anybody, including my own trained eye.
Mraz comes back with a fastball that time. He's low again, 3-0. Mraz taking a long time to look in for the sign. He'll now deliver the 3-0. It's a get-me-over fastball, 89 miles an hour right down the gun. 3-1 the count now. Good hitters count for Larson. Larson, a .242 batter, 2 home runs, 16 knocked in. He'll offer at the 3-1 from Mraz. It's a high chopper towards the left side, and Jordan Stevens pick it up. Nobody's going to be out. Stevens just ate that one after fielding it. Took a high bounce, and he fielded it in front of the shortstop almost.
I'm not sure that play counts as an infield single. If Miami plays on grass, it's that hard hop about 5 yards in front of home plate. Took another one before Stevens could field it, and by that time you knew there was no play to get the runner at first.
First pitch to Malik Peters is low as well, as Mraz is showing some control issues early in this one. Peters came on to pinch hit late in last night's ball game for the aforementioned McKermott. He's hitting .196 on the year, no home runs and 5 knocked in.
This is an out you need to get, absolutely, before you get back into the teeth of the Northern Illinois
Peters, the 8-hole hitter, staring at a 1-0 count. 2 down, runners on first and second. Spencer Mraz, the pitcher, he'll look back at the runner at second. He'll actually turn and bluff the throw. Cam Smith back in safely. He's just standing up. Jordan Larson, the runner at first base after the infield single. Peters waves the bat a couple of times. Mraz stretching out that arm on the mound. He'll step back on and look in for his sign from the catcher, Cal Elvers. Mraz gets set, looks at the runner, he'll deal. That one's in there. Another breaking ball that time. That's the third or fourth one we've seen now from a guy who usually doesn't throw them in the first 2 innings. That one is in there for a called strike. 1-1 the count.
That was the first effective one. 80 miles an hour. Had a little bit of break to it. Fooled him on that.
You
Had
could
him out in front. It was a check swing.
You could see Peters just kind of, like you said, he was confused on that one. Here's the 1-1 to him. And another breaking ball. That time, Peters way out in front.
See, that's what he needs to do. 2 straight breaking balls now. Peters can sit back a little bit, try not to jump out in front of one, and that way Mraz can sneak a fastball like pass it. Let's see if he does it on the 1-2 count.
Here is that 1-2. He goes breaking ball once again. That's a changeup that time. It's too low. 2-2 the count now. That's the third pitch we'll see Mraz throw up there is that changeup. Doesn't use it often. Typically just a fastball, curveball pitcher.
Here comes the fastball. 2-2 count. Gonna put him away right here.
Mraz winds and deals. It's fouled off down the left field line.
Another breaking ball, 81 miles an hour that time.
He must see something in the stance or the swing of Malik Peters that he's been able to, try, or he's at least trying to exploit. He has been able to on a couple of pitches this at-bat. You've got to think eventually, after he keeps changing speeds on Malik Peters, that he's going to have to go high fastball and just blow right by him. Mraz, we've seen him touch 93, 94 on the gun. Here's the 2-2. He goes back to the fastball at 93. It's a little too low, below the knees.
Smart at-bat by Peters, especially. Seen as many breaking balls as he has. And the control issues with his main pitch. Especially batting 196, to try to get on base and see what else can happen. Keep this 2-out rally going for the Northern Illinois Huskies.
They're going to try to do that here. The payoff pitch looming. It's on the ground towards the second baseman, Landon Stevens, and he'll misplay the ball. Everyone's going to be safe, and the bases will be loaded for the Huskies. Landon Stevens charged hard on that ground ball from Malik Peters, and it just bounced off his glove and squirted a couple feet away from him. Matt Pastor, the RedHawks pitching coach, will go out and talk to Mraz.
Mraz has got to be some sort of frustrated. There's only been one ball hit against him in this inning. That was the definitive hit, no matter where you put your defender. All the rest have been grounded. Very fieldable balls. A couple just past diving players that time. That's a play that Landon Stevens needs to make, especially the way the inning is going. Pick up your pitcher a little bit. I think probably the issue was the runner going from first to second blocked his field of vision just for a split second. That was enough for Stevens to get confused, bobble the ball, and by that time, the runner Peters successfully advanced to first base, loading the bases with 2 outs here.
That should have gotten the RedHawks out of the inning. Instead, it will continue. Mraz will face his 9th batter. It'll be Josh Mutter, the center fielder, a left-handed hitter. Mraz blows the fastball by him for strike 1. Mutter hitting .250 on the year, no home runs, 13 RBIs. Bases are juiced for Northern Illinois. Mraz comes back with another fastball, blows it right by him again for strike 2. Mutter quickly down 0-2 with 2 outs. This is a big out. I think Mraz at this point is like, you know what, just let me take care of it. I'm going to blow a fastball by him and just get out of this inning by myself.
I think he's done messing around with everything but his bread and butter. He's just going to try to puff the strike zone, full fastballs, and get the heck to the bench.
The 0-2 comes back with another fastball. This one's fouled to the left side now to play. Out towards the J. Hayden Baseball Center. Mutter walked yesterday, but struck out twice and hit one on the ground for an out. And Mraz blows the fastball right by him. There's strike three. So Mraz finally out of it after dealing almost 40 pitches. Should have ended a while ago. However, the Northern Illinois Huskies scratch across 3 runs and take a 3-0 lead in the top of the first. It's kind of reverse of what we saw yesterday. Miami jumped on the board in the first inning, went scoreless in the second, and then ran the Northern Illinois Huskies pitcher out of the game in the third. Dropped a 5 spot on them on their way to 12 runs.
The way that first inning goes, well as typical starts for Mraz goes, I like to think that the RedHawks bats will be on high alert to support Mraz as many runs as they possibly can. Hopefully jump out. Michael Lazowicz as quickly as they can. Lazowicz coming into today 4-3 with a 5.53 ERA. He is a sophomore from McHenry, Illinois. 14 innings so far this year. His last start out was against Kent State on the 20th of April, going 4 innings, 7 hits, 5 runs, all earned, and 4 base on balls, 3 strikeouts.
He'll face Christian Tejada, Miami's leadoff batter. He's designated hitter today, typically out in center field. We saw him at the DH position yesterday as well. Same exact lineup for Miami. You know, Danny Hayden, I'm sure his thought process was when you put up 12 runs, why not change, or why change it? No need at that point.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
That's what they say. As Lazowicz will continue his warm-up tosses. Christian Tejada, the batter. Will Vogelsang will hit behind him. Landon Stevens, the second baseman, will be in the 3 hole. Jordan Stevens, the third baseman, will hit cleanup. Kyle Winkler, the left fielder, in the 5 spot. Cal Elvers will follow him. He's catching today. McKay Williams, the right fielder, in the 7 spot in the lineup. He's followed by Parker Massman, the center fielder. And rounding out the RedHawks lineup is Charlie Harrigan, the first baseman. Defensively from left to right in the Northern Illinois outfield, we've got Joyce Mutter and Drew Bushevich. At third base, it's going to be Tommy Shasney. Dylan Lontine at short, Malik Peters at second base, and Jordan Larson at first. Jake Dunham behind the dish for Michael Lazowicz. Lazowicz, a right-handed pitcher, will face the right-handed hitting Christian Tejada. Tejada, Miami's hottest hitter for almost this entire season, hitting .386 on the year, 1 home run, 24 knocked in. First pitch he sees is off the plate away, a 90-mile-an-hour fastball. Christian Tejada, pretty much everything you want in a leadoff hitter as he gets on base at almost a 500% clip. And he's got some speed, 17 of 19 on stolen base attempts. Second pitch he sees, he slaps towards the right field line and out of play. 1-1 the count now. He's followed by Will Vogelsang, who is almost a carbon copy of Tejada. Just a little more speed. Vogelsang 21 of 22 on the year in stolen bases. Here's the 1-1 to Tejada. It's off the inside corner. Radar here at Hayden Park says that was 44 miles an hour. I can confirm it was not 44 miles an hour. It's a little bit of a fastball.
Double that number.
You might want to double that one as Lazowicz readies for the 2-1. He'll throw it in there. That one's a called strike 92. I think that's a little closer to reality.
I'd say so, partner. I'd say so.
2-2 is upstairs to Tejada. We're seeing Lazowicz with a very deliberate motion, kind of pauses after the first step back in his windup.
That one was listed at 43. Again, I think you can probably count on doubling that, at least, if it was a fastball.
It looked to be as Lazowicz will ready. Full count hitting is Tejada. He'll foul this one off his ankle and live to see another pitch. Tejada in yesterday's ball game, it was his first game back. Took him a bat or two to get ready, But he get back into the swing of things, and he finally got a hit in his third at bat. Added another one later in the game in his final at bat, so picking up right where he left off before his injury. Only missed Tuesday's ball game, so not too much doing for the typical RedHawks center fielder. He fouls off another 3-2 pitch off his ankle. Tejada, not one of those guys who wears a protective ankle brace. We're seeing a lot of those in college baseball today. But as Bennett and I talked about yesterday, it seems every time a guy hits it off his ankle and he's wearing one of those braces, it somehow misses the brace. Payoff pitch looming. Here's the 3-2. This one is skied towards center field. Shallow center field, and the shortstop Lansing will actually go out and make the play.
Tejada chased on that one. That was going to be high and away, a fastball. As a result, he didn't get his bat head around quick enough. Side of the center field. That's not a pitch you can do a whole lot with. Trying to throw the ball like he did. Get in the zone a little bit more. Take it the other way. Might have had a single down the right field line instead. He's late. Fouls it off or flies out to center field.
The batter will be Will Vogelsang, hitting .331 on the year, 1 home run, 22 knocked in. Almost the same stats, just a little bit lower batting average than Christian Tejada. The first pitch he sees is a little bit low. Vogelsang taking over the shortstop role this year from Carlos Texador, excuse me. Texador honored before today's game. He actually threw out the first pitch here on Alumni Weekend. Texador now a member of the Miami coaching staff at only 23 years old. Vogelsang stares at another ball up and away. 2-0 the count now as Lazowitz will come back with a pitch. That one's in there for a called strike, 86 on the gun. Went a little bit slower with the fastball. Took a little bit off and got it over.
As rain looms in our forecast later today, something that we can all appreciate about Lazowitz is he works fast as the pitch is coming.
He does work quickly as there's another strike in there. 2-2 the count now. This game was originally scheduled for 4 p.m. this afternoon. However, it was pushed up 3 hours to 1 o'clock with that impending doom or forecasted doom, whatever you want to call it. It's supposed to rain for much of the evening and into the night.
It's a coming.
Hopefully not. Hopefully it holds off as Vogelsang takes the 2-2 pitch just a little bit low, running the count full. So back-to-back batters now. Michael Lazowitz has chalked the count full against the first 2 RedHawks batters.
Let's hope Mraz gets the memo, too, to work quickly and maybe a couple more strikes so we can get out of here before the rain comes.
Brady and I are out here on the concourse at Hayden Park, so we would get a little bit wet if it does start precipitating. Vogelsang fouls that one off.
I'm sorry to say our equipment does not appear to be waterproof, so if it does start to rain, you folks might have to follow via Twitter.
Yeah, I'm thinking that may be the case. However, we look all right for the time being. Vogelsang taking a second to step back in there after the foul ball. He'll get set. Pitcher on the mound will get set as well. Vogelsang choked way up for the 3-2. Here we go. And he took a hearty cut at that one. He came up empty for strike 3. That's the second out of the inning.
Swung out of his shoes on that one. He was shooting for President's Hall there in deep left field.
Vogelsang actually went down to a knee on that swing, really trying to get his team right back in it with one swing. Landon Stevens, the second baseman, will bat now. He hits third. .295 batting average, 4 home runs. That's tied for second on the team, and 31 knocked in. That's the team lead for the RedHawks. Stevens, we saw him make that error at second base in the top of the first inning. Looking for a little redemption, maybe a sorry dude to Spencer Mraz. First pitch he sees is in there for a called strike. Stevens, often a third baseman for this RedHawk team, or at least the past 2 years he has been until the last week or so. He swings through a second fastball that he sees. 0-2, he's down quickly. Stevens typically a third baseman, but has moved over to second base now. They like him better there, at least for his defense. And Jordan Stevens, the next hitter, the cleanup hitter, typically a second baseman at Miami, has moved to third. That looks like the alignment will stay for at least the time being.
They like him for his defense. They probably they were asking for a little bit more than what they gave in the first inning after that error that prolongs the inning.
Here's the 1-2 to Jordan Stevens. He fouls this one straight back over us. Where's Bennett with his softball glove as this one goes over our heads?
Oh, baby. He came out in front of that one, Stevens did. He was expecting fastball. You could tell he slowed the velocity of his bat speed down as he started to come through the zone, trying to hold back just a bit to catch up to that.
Lazowitz, a strikeout pitcher. He's looking for one here. 1-2 to Stevens. It's upstairs, a fastball at 92. It's a little bit of a chase pitch there from Lazowitz. He's got 46 strikeouts in only 42 innings coming into the ball game today. It's a pretty good ratio, if you ask me, averaging over 9 per 9 innings. And he got another one there as Stevens swings through the 2-2. Northern Illinois still leading 3-0 after one. We'll be right back on Red Hawk Radio. We're back in. Spencer Mraz back on the hill for the second inning of work. He gave up 3 runs on 4 hits in his first inning. Looking for better results here. Lineup will turn over. We're back to the leadoff hitter already for the Huskies, Tommy Shasny. He walked in, came all the way around to score the first run for the Huskies in that last inning. The first pitch he sees is off the plate away, an 89-mile-an-hour fastball.
If I'm Shasny, I put my bat on my shoulder and I say, Mr. Spencer, put it over the plate. He hasn't proven to be able to do that in any pitches through just one inning.
He can't find the plate again there. Ball 2-2 Shasny. Ross kicks and deals. That one's in there for a strike this time. 88 miles an hour on the gun. Ross's pitch count already up into the 40s as he deals the 2-1-2 Shasny. This one's going to get down in left field. It's a base hit for Shasny. Kyle Winkler will pick it up and throw it back in. But for the second straight inning, Tommy Shasny, the leadoff hitter for the Northern Illinois Huskies, is aboard.
That's the importance for a fastball pitcher. He's going to throw primarily fastballs. He needs to be able to throw a strike over pitches, so that way when he does want to go breaking ball, he can afford to miss just to get the batter's eye, which is mixed up a bit.
And we have seen him so far get behind these Northern Illinois Husky hitters. He's only issued 1 walk, but he's just working deep in the counts and throwing a lot of pitches. Eventually, the Huskies are getting their way as the next hitter, Joyce, lays down a bunt. Jordan Stevens, the third baseman, will field and throw an errant throw towards first base. All runners will be safe, and they will go to second and third. Shasny will advance to third on the air. Joyce all the way to second base after laying a bunt down the third base line.
That's not championship baseball right there. Coach Hayden, I guarantee you after the game, will have some words for both Landon and Jordan Stevens if they both committed errors. That one, a relatively easy play. It was a good bunt laid down by Shasny. Joyce rather. However, let's play Stevens has been late. He did it? Here we are, second and third, no outs. Top of the second.
Lonty in the next hitter will ground one to short, and there's going to be a pickle in between second and third. The run will get in. And Joyce at second base trying to retreat is going to be out. It looks like Landon Stevens, who was covering second base, he bailed, leaving Jordan Stevens to dive and try to tag Joyce out at second base. And O'Connor, the head coach for Northern Illinois, will not be happy with that. When he runs out of the dugout, he'll appeal towards the first base umpire.
He's just not good enough there. That was quite the trot, I'll tell you what.
I don't think it's going to change the result no matter how much he argues. Northern Illinois did get a run in. They're fourth. They take a 4-0 lead here. We're only in the top of the second inning.
The manager from the Huskies might have a case on this. Obviously, nothing's going to change that, but that was not a very well executed run.
Once again, we saw another, well, almost defensive miscue from the RedHawks. No errors yesterday. We've already seen 2 in this ball game, and then that whole situation.
My question is, why would Vogelson go to third? You're going to try to get a tag out. Why not go for the lead runner? Get him.
It's an interesting question. I don't have an answer for you there, partner. First pitch to Jake Dunham is in there for a called strike. Dunham doubled down the left field line for the first 2 Northern Illinois runs in his first at-bat. He's up again, and there is a runner at first base. Another opportunity where if he puts one in the gap, could be more Northern Illinois runs. Second pitch to him is off the plate inside. Raj checking on that runner at first base. He'll now get set and deliver the 1-1. Another fastball off the plate inside. Like Brady said, you would like, ideally, for Miraz to really come after these hitters and pound the strike zone with that fastball. He has not done that yet today. He would like, as he falls behind. He's falling behind almost every Northern Illinois hitter. Here's the 2-1. That one's in there. Ooh, it says, the home plate umpire says no. Just a little bit too low. Looked to be right around the knee area. Miraz nearing 50 pitches as he delivers the 3-1 to Jake Dunham. And he issued a walk.
I bet that probably gets some action going in the RedHawks bullpen.
Nothing doing yet, but we will see. If not that, we might see it here soon. Miraz only throwing an inning and a third, nearing 50 pitches as we said, and the RedHawks are already down 4-0. Nick Drobasevich, the right fielder, coming up now. He flew out to center and probably the hardest hit ball we've seen today. Lined it out to Massman on an almost hit. He'll slap this one towards left field. Kyle Winkler is going to range over and make the play. He traveled a long way to get that towards the left field line and made the play.
Finally, Miraz got it on that one. 2 away. Get out of this inning.
Still runners on first and second base. Dunham at first, Lontine at second. Lontine can run a little bit. He's got 6 stolen bases on 8 attempts this year. Cam Smith, the hitter now. He had an RBI single in his first at-bat, and once again, there's ducks on the pond, even with 2 outs. He slaps another one towards Winkler out there in left field. Winkler going back at the track, and he'll make the play for out number 3. So a little bit of trouble there for Miraz. Did give up a run, but he limits the damage and strands a couple of runners out there on the base paths. Still up there in pitches as he got over 50 to end that inning. Miami looking to get something going now when they bat. It'll be Jordan Stevens, the cleanup hitter, as Miami went down in order in that first inning. 2 strikeouts for Lazowitz. Like we mentioned earlier, he's a strikeout pitcher. Doesn't have the most electric stuff in the world. I'd argue that Spencer Mraz actually has better stuff, whether it comes to velocity or breaking balls, but whatever Lazowitz is doing, it's working. He works quickly and works in his own rhythm. That's a big thing, especially for a young pitcher as a sophomore. Not much of a breeze here today. We saw yesterday a huge breeze out towards right field. We were blowing all over the place here on the concourse of Hayden Park. But we saw a couple of routine fly balls, or what should have been routine fly balls towards right field, turn into, warning track fly balls or even hit the wall. Not much of that today as the wind is pretty still. Temperatures in the 50s, the sun shining just a bit, trying to peek out from the clouds that are coming in. Lazowitz will finish his warm-up tosses, and we'll get going with Jordan Stevens, the cleanup hitter. Stevens' first at-bat of the game. He's hitting .333, 2 home runs, 23 knocked in. Not your typical cleanup hitter, standing at, something like a generous 5'8", 5'9", 5'10". Only 160 pounds. The first pitch he sees, he'll swing on and drive down the right field line. It'll get out of play just past the bullpen of Northern Illinois. Well, like Bennett and I talked about yesterday, regardless of whether he's built like a typical cleanup hitter, you can't argue with the results. When you're hitting .333 with an on-base percentage of over .420, I don't think Danny Hayden's really going to complain about that. He'll probably keep putting your name in the lineup every day as Stevens takes ball number 1. That's a breaking ball off the plate inside to even the count at 1-1. As it's working quickly, he'll deliver. This one is bounced up the middle. Shortstop Lonti. Actually, there's a miscommunication between the second baseman and the shortstop. Lontine and Peters both converging on that ball. Looked like both were going for it, and then both at the final second backed off. Ball just kind of trickles into center field.
Once again, I think that comes as a result. Don't need anything. We have on grass. Yeah, that's a high chopper. Double play. Lontine and Peters. Peters went for it, ducked. Lontine thought Peters was going to get it, so miscommunication. Count that as an infield single rather than error. So we have a first base runner of the day for the RedHawks.
First base runner of the day as Kyle Winkler steps to the plate. Now he'll foul off the first pitch he sees. It'll get out of play towards the left field line. Winkler was a busy man last inning, at least during the final 2 batters of that inning, as he retired both of them on flyouts to left field. Winkler, 307 hitter on the year, 4 home runs, 27 knocked in. His batting stance is a low crouch as he takes ball number 1. That's a 90-mile-an-hour fastball from Lazowitz. We've seen him dial it up to 91, 92. I think the fastest pitch we've seen so far today is Spencer Mraz at about 93, 94 as Lazowitz sets on the mound. He'll deliver to Kyle Winkler. Winkler will fly out to his counterpart as Joyce ranges over and takes care of that one for the first out of the inning. That was a hard hit ball, but no cigar. Hit it right at a guy.
Turned on that one. Solid contact.
RedHawk catcher, number 24, Kyle Elbers.
Kyle Elbers the batter now. The catcher hitting .355 on the year. He leads the RedHawks in home runs with 5, 26 RBIs. He got hot a couple of weeks back. He was actually at Northern Illinois and hit a couple of bombs there. Cal standing in. First pitch he takes inside, 76-mile-an-hour breaking ball that almost hit him. Cal just turning that front shoulder inside. Stevens down there at first base. Good speed, but not too many stolen base attempts on the year. He's 4 of 8 in that category. Pitch to Elvers. This little can of corn out towards second base. Malik Peters is under it for the infield fly out. Cal Elvers is quickly down too. So 2 outs in the inning after Miami got the leadoff runner aboard. McKay Williams, the right fielder, and one of 2 left-handed hitters in this Miami lineup will come to the plate now. McKay, the senior, hitting .298, 2 home runs, 25 knocked in. He's one of a few RedHawks who have bleached their hair for this season. Actually, more than a few. As we get deeper into the season, it seems like every series, at least 1 or 2 more guys do it. He takes off the plate away a 91-mile-an-hour fastball on the first pitch. Brady, you ever thought about bleaching your hair, even for a team? Did you ever do that?
You know what? Growing up, my hair didn't need to be bleached. It was about as bright blonde as you could ask for. Like Hannah Montana, you would say.
As Lazowicz checks on the runner, he throws over to first base. Stevens back in time.
As I progress in years, my hair has progressed to look more like Miley Cyrus, not to natural Miley Cyrus. But no, to answer your question, I've never thought of bleaching my hair. Teams never did it. My high school baseball team did. I didn't play for the team. Yeah, that answers your question. Not too exciting.
I used to do that for, I'm not necessarily an athlete, but I played some grade school
You got that
soccer.
right.
And every time during the postseason tournament, we'd dye our hair blue and orange to match our school colors.
Wow.
Isn't that nice?
I'm surprised you let yourself do that, Sunshine. You take good care of your hair.
And we broadcaster types like to look good even when we have faces for radio.
That's true.
McKay takes a big cut at that one. Comes up empty. 2-1 the count now. Stevens still chilling down there at first base. Both runner and batter getting their signs from third base coach and RedHawk skipper Danny Hayden. Justin Dedman, the hitting coach, is the first base coach. Lazowicz ready's on the mound. He'll deliver the 2-1 to McKay Williams. McKay thought about going, ultimately held up. Takes upstairs for 3-1 now.
Is your hair bleached right now?
No, sir.
It looks the part. It looks the part. Look good though.
Thank you,
There's
buddy.
such a thing as a good bleach.
I would agree. I don't know if these RedHawks necessarily have that. It's
McKay Williams is not one of them.
You can tell they just went to Kroger and picked up the first box they saw, but that's all right.
All natural, baby.
McKay fouls that one off behind us and out of play for strike number 2. He chucks the count full. Yeah, this is just the result of a spring break trip.
Oh yeah?
A little beach trip, getaway. You know how it goes.
Yeah. Actually, Chris and I were both on that trip. We had a good old time.
As always.
Both natives of Cincinnati. Unfortunately, we're not able to be in the Queen City on our holiday of opening day. So we brought Skyline Dip to the beach and we listened to Marty the Cowboy narrate a Reds victory on opening day. That one's fouled off.
Yeah, find me a better broadcasting duo than Marty and the Cowboy. That's my challenge. And
you're listening to it right now.
well, I don't know about that. Okay, taking a long time after fouling that one off with a full count. Let's see another pitch here from Lazowicz. If we get that far, Parker Massman is the on-deck hitter. Here's the 3-2. Jordan Stevens is going, and that one's outside. McKay Williams works a walk, and we will see Parker Massman.
How big was the get a little bit of momentum going Miami's way. Not a whole lot has gone right. Bad hops to line drives, not falling where they need to. I think Mraz and the rest of the RedHawks would be mighty grateful for Parker Massman. Shoot one through the infield on this bat.
I'm sure they would love that, as Stevens would presumably be able to score from second base. All of the Northern Illinois Husky infielders are playing back, with the exception of the third baseman Shazny. He's playing even with the bag. Massman takes a big cut at the first pitch he sees. Comes up empty for strike one. Stevens the runner at second. McKay Williams down there at first. Massman hitting 230 on the year, starting to get that average up as we saw him under 200 for most of the season up until the last couple of weeks. He was a freshman phenom last year, but has gone into a sophomore slump. He swings through the second pitch he sees. That's strike two with 2 outs.
He's taken 2 big hacks. I'm sure the hitting coach Devin is not thrilled to see. Not need to get it all back in one swing right now. Just a nice under control. Hack at one of these would do the trick, I'm sure.
Massman has some home run pop with 3 dingers, 18 knocked in. He's got an open stance, almost standing straight up when he's in that batter's box. He stares back at Lazowitz, and here's the pitch. He takes another big cut and comes up empty for the 3rd consecutive time. Inning over for the RedHawks. They get 2 runners on, but aren't able to scratch any runs across, and they're still down 4-0. We'll be right back. Don't go away. We're on RedHawk Radio. Jordan Larson stepping in the box now as we come back for the top of the 3rd in. Oxford Spencer Miraz still on the mound as Larson skies this one out towards shallow right field. Landon Stevens, the second baseman, under it. Actually, the right fielder, McKay Williams, will come on, call off Stevens, and make the play for out number 1. So 1 pitch, 1 out as Larson was first pitch swinging. You got to like that if you're Spencer Miraz, as he's already dealt 50 pitches through 2 innings. Malik Peters, the batter now. First pitch he sees is in there for a called strike, 89-mile-an-hour fastball from Miraz, little 2-seamer on the outside part of the plate. Shane Smith, the RedHawks long man, is warming up in the bullpen. It's the first action we've seen today as Peters swings through a breaking ball. Or pulled the string on him, yeah, 76 miles an hour. It's going to be a Gatorade. And Peters gets rung up inside fastball, just froze him, and he didn't even offer it that one. Watched it go by, and he's set down on strikes. So a quick 2 outs here for Miraz, and you know what changed, and we've talked about this all game, is he's coming after the hitters. We saw him against Larson put a pitch in the zone on the first pitch to Larson. Larson skied out to right field and then came right after 3 straight pitches, 3 straight strikes, and he's gone. And another first pitch swinging Husky. This will be Josh Mutter. He flies out to Winkler in left field, and we've already got the end of the inning.
That's exactly what the doctor ordered for. Strengthen the rack. Hopefully that gives him confidence to continue into this game, really maybe get a couple more in, take a break on the bullpen. And, 4-point deficit.
Will be finishing this 3-game series against the visiting Northern Illinois Huskies. Brady also slated for a
It's just a matter of time.
And just like that, you know, that 5-pitch inning, Shane Smith, who was getting ready in the bullpen, he puts his sweatshirt back on and goes and takes a seat.
There you go.
Miraz probably will come back out for that fourth inning of work unless something drastic changes. Michael Lazowitz back out on the mound for the Northern Illinois Huskies. He's gone 2 strong, only thrown 39 pitches, given up 1 hit, 1 walk, no runs so far, and he struck out 3. He'll face the bottom of the order in Charlie Harrigan, the 9-hole hitter. First baseman will be the first man up for the RedHawks in the bottom of the 3rd.
Eli.
He'll be followed by Christian Tejada at the top. We've already seen him today. Harrigan, a 272 hitter, 1 home run, 27 knocked in. We've seen him for the first part of the season. He hit up, 3rd, 4th spot, 5th spot in the order. Really more of a power guy, and has been dropped down towards the bottom of the order lately. Not because he's not really producing. He's hitting 272, but just because other RedHawks have gotten hotter. Lazowitz will finish up his warm-up tosses, and we will see Harrigan come to the plate. Alright, so now that you're Spencer Miraz, you're sitting in that dugout just praying for some run support. You finally settled down, got a quick 1-2-3 inning. And with the top of the order coming up after Charlie Harrigan, you're really hoping for some runs. Lazowitz kicks and deals. The first pitch to Harrigan is inside. 91-mile-an-hour fastball out of shoe tops. Big swing from Harrigan. No cigar as he offered at the 1-0. Moves the count 2-1-1. Miami has had 2 runners reach base so far, left them both stranded. Northern Illinois has scratched across 4 runs. They've stranded 5 thus far. Harrigan with another big cut at that one. Once again swings through it. He's quickly down 1-2.
Really tempts these RedHawk hitters. A little bit hard to see if the lineup turns over to the hot end on the side. They can settle down a little bit and maybe put some fundamentally sound swings on these pitches.
It looks like all the RedHawks are trying to pull that fastball instead of really trying to square it up.
As a result, they fly out to center field, trying to turn on that soft fastball. It's coming over quicker than they realize, and they end up late. Here we go, the cage is like really quick.
Let me tell you about some of the dingers Brady Pfister and I hit in batting practice. Hitting the batting cages, holy Toledo. Don't get me started. Here's the full count pitch to Charlie Harrigan. This one's on the ground towards the first baseman. Lazowitz will receive the throw. He's covering first base, and he'll take care of it for out number 1. Yeah, Brady Pfister and I, well, to be fair, we only go into softball cages. We're not hitting 90-mile-an-hour fastballs from Michael Lazowitz.
Speak for yourself. I was a hard ball. I'm not sure about you. But nevertheless,
Brady Pfister, he's the guy who's trying to pull in 105-mile-an-hour Otis Chapman fastball. I'll go the other way occasionally.
You're dead center every time. I don't want to embarrass my man Otis.
Christian Tejada, the batter now. First pitch he sees from Lazowitz is upstairs, 89 on the gun. Don't want to embarrass my man Aroldis. Oh, Brady.
Game 7 of the World Series. Pull it into the Jacobs Field, left field seats. Tie up Game 7 of the World Series.
You're about, how old are you, like 100? Jacobs Field. It's progressive, buddy. Jacobs, that hasn't been Jacobs since 2007 as as Tejada takes a big swing at that one.
Still playing
The Reds should still be in like Riverfront, but we love Great American Ballpark.
I'd love for them to stay in Crosley though, neighborhood ballpark. Dated entity.
2-1 count to Tejada. He fouls one off towards the left side and into the Miami bullpen. Hot soup
What the heck
for the
does that
RedHawks.
mean?
You know what? You're gonna have to ask the originator of that, Cole Gannett.
Really?
Cole sometime last season, he just started screaming "hot soup" whenever there was a hot shot or any ball hit near the dugout or bullpen.
Interesting.
And so it just continued on. And so if there's ever a ball lined into the RedHawks dugout or near it or into the bullpen, you will hear chants of hot soup. Here's the 2-2 from Lazowitz. This one is fouled over the protective netting behind home plate and out of play. Tejada staying alive with 2 strikes.
So that would not be hot soup.
That would not be
Because
hot
it's the
soup.
opposite way, okay?
That would not be hot soup. And I think, and I don't have this confirmed, but I think also if Tejada were to foul one into the Huskies dugout right now, the Miami players would probably still yell hot soup.
Oh, okay.
You know, along with a couple of laughs as Tejada takes a breaking ball low. That moves the count full.
That's what confused me. Room temperature soup.
No. This is hot.
Or Lord forbid, cold soup.
We don't want that. This is hot off the stove.
So,
3-2 pitch to Tejada. He puts a swing on this one and connects, but it's out of play off towards the right side, towards that parking lot out there.
once again, Tejada's late on that one, and they would have probably won the play.
The thing that's really impressed me so far is Lazowitz been able to really spot that fastball and put it where he wants it. We'll see if he comes back with it here on the 3-2. He does, and Tejada goes with it this time, lines it down the right field line. That's a fair ball. He's running. He'll go into the corner. He's going 3, and he'll be in sliding safely. No throw. Drabusevich had a little trouble with it down there in the right field corner, and Christian Tejada, with 1 out now, is standing on third base after a triple.
That's exactly what the Redhawks started to do. Tejada took that fastball, let it get into the zone a little bit, and just took a look down. This speed, that was slick, but that was a stand-up triple without a doubt. Curved away from the pitch.
Will Vogelsang, the batter now, looking to drive in Tejada from third base. Only 1 out in the inning. The first pitch to Vogelsang is in there for a called strike. 72 miles an hour on the breaking ball that time. Really slowed it down. Started it off the plate inside and curved it back over the plate. So not only the fastball, but the breaking ball is also working and being spotted well for Michael Lazowitz. There's a fastball. This time it's grounded towards third, and Christian Tejada is going to get caught in a pickle between third and home. Still going on, and the shortstop Lontine finally comes over to tag him out. And they throw back to second base. Will Vogelsang went to second. He's tagged out at second base. He doesn't like that call.
You can't really blame Tejada because that was a hot smash down at third base. And just the fact that he has had a lead of any sort of third base, he's probably going to get caught out. As far as Vogelsang's concerned,
Okay, Miami fans, right now it's time to play game back 2. Be the first to correctly identify both the unders and the soft title after collection table.
Miami missing out on a prime opportunity to finally get on the board. Instead, they fail. 4-0. Northern Illinois leads. We'll be right back on Red Hawk Radio. We're back in Oxford, top of the 4th inning, as I throw it over the play-by-play duties to my partner, Brady Pfister. Brady, it's all yours.
Thank you, Chris. Tommy Shazzy, rather. He's off the inning for the Huskies, and he is being 87-mile-an-hour fastball gets away from the rise, and one pitch, one base runner. Leadoff hitter Shazzy makes his way over to first base. That got him on the elbow as Brendan Joyce makes his way to home plate. He is 0 for 1 on the day, batting .299 on the year for the Northern Illinois Huskies. Mraz, starting his 4th inning, really weren't quite sure at the end of 2 if he would be here, but after a quick 3rd inning of work of scoreless baseball, he is back with the base runner on. Brendan Joyce at the dish, digs in. He deals. Almost hits another batter, 89-mile-an-hour fastball, gets away from him again. Joyce just able to get out of the way. Obviously, this outside with good back. And no strikes to Joyce.
Shane Smith back up in the bullpen for Miami. We saw him get up and stretch a little bit last inning and then sat down while the RedHawks hit. He's back up and working.
Which was his high. Smith and Elderboy.
An alum of my alma mater, Elder High School, down in Price Hill, Cincinnati area.
We'll say tradition never graduates. I'll say they're stuck in high school.
Tradition never graduates at Elder from Elder High School. I'm a very proud Elder alum. I wear purple every Friday.
That one's right down Broadway. 2-1 to Joyce.
We had a couple of Elder fans, or at least Elder shirts in the crowd yesterday, even though Shane Smith was not pitching. He's the only Elder boy on this team. Former Elder Panther. We love to see that.
Yes, you do.
Just me?
I don't share your adoration for the Panthers.
That's all right.
There's going to be grounded foul. Stevens. Now evens at 2 to 4-0 ball game here in the top of the 4th inning in Oxford. NIU got off to a quick start, 3 runs on the 1st, 1 on the 2nd. Spencer Morales is settled down while the bats on the other side of the RedHawks have not been able to do much. 2-2 Joyce is on the way. Fastball, got him swinging. That's a strikeout. First of the inning for Moraz is 1 away, 1 on. 1 for 2 on the day.
Moraz with his 3rd strikeout of the day. You know, some days we've detailed his inconsistency. Some days he'll go an entire game, you know, with 1, 2, 3 strikeouts, and then other games like his his no-hit bid from 2 weeks ago, he struck out, you know, over 10 guys. He was up into the double digits.
His first pitch swing. That's going to be a double play. Saying tags.
All right, let's hit. Let's hit now. Sit in, Spence.
That's double play and another quick inning after hitting the first batter. Spencer Moraz gets the rest out, and we go to the bottom of the 4th. With the Red Hawk bat still needing to wake up.
And with Spencer Moraz fully into his groove now, or at least appears to be, you would really like to get that run support, as we've talked about. Miami bats going silent. They've kind of gone through a little bit of a dry spell here recently. They've lost 4 of their last 6 ball games. And oftentimes it's a result of the bats not being there rather than the pitching giving up too many runs. Sometimes it's both, as is the case. You know, what we saw on Tuesday night against Xavier University, 13-4 Red Hawk loss, but they were able to turn it around last night, 12-0 win over Northern Illinois. Back here today, and some more inconsistency from the Red Hawks. And we really haven't seen that all year. They still sit at first place in the Mid-American Conference.
Get together a little bit. Hasn't been pretty Stick around and you just wait for that. hopefully create some of their own luck.
And Miami has talked all season, at least Danny Hayden, the head coach, has talked all season about the ultimate goal being the MAC championship and winning that tournament. However, he chooses to focus one series at a time. You know, typical coach speak, I guess. But
here's Landon Stevens. Checking in at 8th in the MAC and runs batted in with 31, 4th and doubles with 15, and he is tied for 2nd in the MAC with at-bats.
oh, baby.
First pitch, ball from Lazarus. His 54th pitch on the day in the bottom of the 4th. Looking quickly again, the pitch to Stevens. That one is sky high. Count evens at 1.
I lost that one too.
Shades off the sky is almost the identical color to a flying baseball. Outfielders, 1-1. That is a breaking ball. Jumped on by Stevens. He's a little bit out in front. Just off the middle of the catcher. He goes down 1-2 to Lazarus.
We talked before about how the sun was trying to peek out from behind the clouds. Yeah, it's gone now.
That ship has sailed,
That ship has sailed, unfortunately, as cloud cover is all the way here. Stevens.
Check swing there. Is ruled to be indeed a check swing by the first base umpire, Timothy Fairwig, and we go to a 2-2 count.
The catcher Dunham slapped the tag on Landon Stevens after that pitch, hoping for the called third strike.
No cigar.
No cigar.
Lazarus working quickly again. The pitch. There is a line shot into the left center field net. Ranging over is the left fielder George for the Huskies. Landon Stevens is aboard with a leadoff single.
Well, and we've seen this before. We've read this story as the RedHawks get, you know, a guy on early in the inning. This time it's the leadoff hitter Stevens, and they haven't been able to push across any runs so far. Let's see if the heart of the order can change that this time around.
Here's Jordan Stevens. On the stretch goes Lazarus. Collects. Kicks. He did. Breaking ball misses off the inside corner. It's going to be ball.
Lazarus has that very slow delivery, at least from the windup, and then as soon as he gets in the stretch, it's just a little quick slide step, and he's there.
That was a fly ball over the first base dugout. Thankfully, no one's hurt. That's why you bring your baseball glove to the ball game, folks.
Brady, you have yours today?
You know what? I'm not here as a spectator. I'm here as a commentator. So I brought my mouth. It does the talking.
You can catch with that, I guess. I wouldn't try it if Jordan Stevens at the plate. He hit some balls pretty hard.
Fastball 99. That's the ball 2-1. There's Lazarus.